and breathe. JJ Shaves here, or John June of JJ Shaves. This is the 23rd of May. We can all relax. That's the wife leaving with the child. Silence, peace. You know, ex-army, a bit of a mantra that I live my life by. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. Cup of tea, back in a second. Okay, the kettle boiled literally as I press the button here, so the tea is now brewing. Different setting to usual. Normally you're in a shave cave and I'm having a shave. Well, today I'll be taking this Bengall, which is TR Cadmann and Son, Sheffield. Probably 1890 to 1920 kind of era. Absolutely stunning. It's probably the best one I think I've seen, so I've decided to keep it. I did have a few nice ones a few years ago, but because they were so common, I kind of disregard them. Whatever, it's a 6/8 extra hollow, vintage, it's a Bengall, yeah, whatever. About a year ago, I bought a rather nice razor from Sweden. I was helped out by Frank Stromberg, who advised me on Swedish razors, and it was a Bengall. I was a bit, when he first said it's a Bengall, when I first saw it as a Bengall, I was a bit like, oh, it's a Bengall. But then he told me what Bengall means. Yeah. You can Google it. I'll tell you in a second. Finishing off my tea. There we go. Okay, I've now got a nice tea. So I'm going to take this Bengall from this here, which anybody knows a razor, you don't do that. Okay, so it's, yeah, it's a butter knife. Bengall, which I'll hopefully talk about in a bit, I've actually got a bit hooked on them. I've actually now got 3 Bengalls in my 7-day set, including this one. Okay, so this whole video is going to be a long one, hence having a cup of tea ready. I'm going to use, because it's an extra hollow, it's going to be hopefully quite an easy one. 1 layer of tape. I use just insulating tape. Different people use different tapes. I do it because it's cheap, and I like to change the tape between each grit, except for when I get to the J-nut, just to stop contamination of the particles. So obviously you don't want to take 1500 slurry onto a 5k stone, because you're going to get 1500 scratches on it. Okay, also, cheers Bob Elliott. This is going to be a video of lots of shout outs in it. Silverline. They do a little 400,000 diamond plate. Now, I always go for Faithfuls, which, when you compare them, there's a massive difference. These are big, thick, heavy plates, great for that, you know. Yeah, you could easily do some damage with one of them. These are plastic with a couple of plates strapped to them, which I originally was a bit kind of, sorry, but they're not for me, mate. So I decided to use them anyway. Now, when you're doing this, so I've purposely put this, change the angle very slightly. Hopefully you can see it a bit better. Yeah, that'll do. So when you're honing on these, it's brilliant. They actually last longer than the Faithfuls, which I was very surprised with. As you saw, a couple of squirts of water, starting off from 400. I do what I found out now is called rolling X. So pressure on the thumb, pressure through the thumb onto the heel for a third. Tiny bit of pressure on both for a third. Then pressure on the thumb through the thumb on the toe, and the last third. So heel, both, toe, heel, both, toe, heel, both, toe, and that means that all of the edge will have contact with the stone. Fortunately, I'm doing this with an extra hollow, meaning this is a lot quicker and easier. If I was doing this with an edge, I could be on this stage for quite literally days. As you saw, the edge was completely dead when I started. Then I do a thumbnail test. Yeah, it's a bit of a bite there. I can feel it biting all the way across. It's nice and even. Look at it with my eyes, and I can see there's a bevel all the way across. I have got a scope here as well. So I'll just scope one side of it out just to take a quick look. Just to confirm what I already know and check that there is no damage. There's a couple of little bits, but we are on a 400, so yeah, there's two little microchips that are about quarter the size of the bevel, and a little bit of chipping on the toe, which is normal. If you look at the size of that bevel, it's tiny. So I'm going to do a few more laps just to confirm it, finish it off. And now, this is how I kill an edge. So we've tested on the thumbnail, hold it on the pivot pin, and you'll feel it biting all the way across. You'll get a nice line on your thumbnail as well. So don't do it at the back of your thumbnail, because in a couple of weeks, when we've done a few more hones, you're going to have stripes all the way up your thumbnail, and you're not going to find anywhere decent to do it. So do it right at the tip. So it's all done, past the thumbnail test. To kill it, tiny amount of pressure on there. When you put it in the thumbnail, it'll skid everywhere, let's see. There's a little bit of gripping on the heel. Yeah, it's not gripping anywhere now, it skates everywhere. And the reason I remove all of the edge is when I redo it, I want to redo it from scratch. So again, I'm going to go on to the 400. Anyway, anybody still watching this 8 minutes in, this is going to be a full hone followed by a full shave. Okay, so didn't count the laps, just did a few. The metal is starting to show through on the tape. I don't know if you're able to see that. Here we are. There, you can see it on that side. So that is the end of that cycle. I call it a cycle. So I check it. Nearly biting, but not great. So obviously I need to change the tape. Just so you guys know, this is going to be feature length. So if you ain't got a kettle on and you ain't got a cup of tea, there's a reason I've got a cup of tea. Same as I may talk over points a couple of times during this video, repeating myself like some mad lunatic. That's because I haven't written a script or anything. I've got lots of ideas buzzing about in my mind, and I have had a nice cup of lava java this morning. Okay, the water on this plate here is all gone, so I'm going to need to squirt some more. So that is the end of the cycle. So at the end of each cycle, I check. And that is pretty much biting in. So I'll do one more cycle, because my 3 golden rules are Always kill the edge before you start. When you think you're done, you're halfway there. And the first stage is the most important. So yeah, biting all the way across, I'm happy that's smooth, and this cycle is ended because the tape is showing through. So when I talk about cycles, as you can see at this stage, they are very quick. And for this razor, it's taken me 5 minutes to do that one stage. Now, I usually put in between 7 and 10 minutes per stone, or per stage, should I say. This one I'm hoping is going to take about 5 minutes per stage, because it is a beautiful, beautiful razor in a fantastic condition. As I said, it's going in my collection, and it will stay there until I find something better. So we're on to thousands. When I start on thousands, again I kill it. So yeah, it's not biting. And again I'm doing the pressure on the heel, pressure on both, pressure on the toe, but the pressure is minuscule. We're talking a quarter of a pound, half a pound of pressure tops. I'm not actually applying anything to forcibly put it down, it's just getting the balance. So I can actually do it for one finger like that, swap over to one finger like that. And that's pretty much what I'm doing with the other one to secure it. If you look at the blade, it'll actually lift. Hopefully you can see that. It's very slightly lifted because the point of contact is right at the heel. Watch the slurry, roll it across, and it comes to the end. And here it's actually a little bit of flex in that, where it is a very slight smiling shape. And that's how I hone tip to tip. And the pressure that I apply to it is only enough to make contact. I'm not using the pressure to scratch it or make anything deep. So just a few more laps, and the tape will probably wear through, because it wears through quite quickly at these early stages. So Bengall, as I said just now, is a process for making steel, and these Bengall razors, TR Cadmann especially, there's so many of them. They're everywhere. Depending on the condition, this one I'd sell for around £45 to £50 with my edge on it. You can buy them on eBay for £25 to £30 in rough shape. This one cost me like £20, I think. So they're not a big ticket item because they're common. But if they've survived that long, and there's loads of them, it must be for a good reason. Okay, so I've got a tape one out there, so it's the end of that cycle. And that is beautifully biting in all the way across. I'll take the scope out and just check that there's nothing going all the way through. And I can tell you now that all the scratches are perfectly lined up at a nice 30-degree angle. There's very little deformation of the edge. A couple of tiny little chips that are the tiny bit of the edge that's come away. That's lovely. Even the little chipping at the toe is gone. So, rinse the stone off, or plate. Put that back in there. Change the tape. Beautiful, it's a nice shower out there now. It was glorious sunshine first thing this morning. And now it's raining. As I've said a few times, Movember, the official start of the English winter. So I've changed the tape. And this is Shapton 1500 ceramic wheatstone professional. So Shapton professional ceramic wheatstone. In case you want to see what it looks like. Nice blue colour. And I always use a 400 plate on this to get obviously a 400 slurry. Everything else I use 1000. My faithfuls were all faithfuls that I used at the stage that I just showed you, and when they wear out and they stop cutting razors particularly well, I use them as slurry stones, except for the one on my J-Nap, which has never been used as slurry stone. Now I can feel straight away that feels rough, because I've obviously got 1000 slurry going onto a 15 plate. I do not kill the edge between 1000 and 1500, because what I'm hoping to do now is I'm starting to refine that edge. And on the 1000 there were tiny little deformations, little tiny chips that you can see under 60X, but they're not actually on the bevel. They're less than 1/8 of the bevel. It's just tiny little serrations, if you like. That now feels smooth, and that's how quick it is at times, especially these little extra hollows. And these Bengalls, if you've never honed one, they are so smooth on the stones. So again, heel, both toe, heel, both toe, and going up the stone. If you listen, there you are. So you can hear the toe on that side isn't matched, it's rough. Now if you listen, it is matched. It sounds the same all the way along. So it's nearly matched, it's very close. Now, as you can see, I'm going a little bit faster here. And I'm applying again on the tang, bit on both, and then on the toe. Because I've done lots of honing. If I turn around and say I've been honing for years, well, yeah, I have been honing for years. However, not as long as many people. I don't believe I am an expert. I know how to get, or I managed to get an edge that I've got Americans. I've actually just had a Canadian. I'm sending a razor to. It's my first Canadian. So I've got American, Canadian. I've got 2 Italian guys that regularly get razors from me. And what I like about it is a lot of people, I know the Americans are trying to copy the JJ Shorty, but in a different way. So it isn't a rip-off of mine, it's their own variation of the JJ Shorty. But it makes sense because postage and time and everything else. Okay, so I did squirt the water without testing, but I'm going to test it now. And on the thumbnail, you can go at an angle, and it's not sliding. that edge feels smoother on the thumbnail test, and when you look at it under light, you can see that it looks better. I'm starting to wear through on the tape, so I'll show you just up here. Look, you can see it's just coming through on the tape. So as soon as you start seeing silver, it's going to start scratching silver, so that's why I change it. Got a bit of kitchen towel. I don't usually have kitchen towel, but just to clean it up so you can see it easier, hopefully. So you put the little line there, and the bevel, there we are. The bevel is looking quite nice already, look. I'll check it on the scope. And already that bevel looks so much keener. The previous scratches are almost all gone, and I've got new scratches. And all I'm doing really is looking at the scratches and looking at the right on the edge. The edge is a tiny bit wobbly, so I'll do another cycle before giving it an all clear. Got tiny bits of serration still. I can see tiny little dark spots where they're blemishes from the rust, because when I got it, it was all rusted up, and I've treated it and polished it. Have some more tea, because I don't normally talk the whole time when I'm doing this. Change the tape. My water's dried a little bit, so I'll put some more water down. And at the moment, I'm just lapping it back and forth, making sure that I've got virtually no pressure whatsoever. Doing it quite quick, so I'm losing quite a bit of water, but I'm going to keep adding water to it. Go back to the toe and heel, just to make sure that I get all of it done. But I'm applying about half the pressure of what I was before, just to remove every little scratch that I can and polish that up as much as I can at 1500. I've had some people tell me that they can pass a hang hair test at 1500. If you can, good on you. All I want to do is pass leg hair. And this is the busy end of doing everything. You know, at 400, at 1000, you're using a scope, you're testing everything, and you're doing lots of changes. That now feels perfectly matched. You know when it's matched because it's not gripping, and it's like you're honing on ice, because the scratches in the razor match the scratches on match the surface of the stone. As you can see, when I do it, I go heel leading about a 30-degree angle. Heel leading about a 30-degree angle. Okay. Wipe off and show you what it looks like now. You can see that the edge is shinier. Looking at it with the eye, it's very slightly satin. So I'm going to try leg hair. It's taken all of that leg hair clean off. Full length of the edge, all the leg hair is gone. So technically, I could actually shave with that now. I'm not going to. Sorry guys, you've got quite a bit more time with me yet. So we've now finished 3 stages of, I think I've got 8 stages today. This is my new edge. This is not my new edge with a secret stage. Haha! Bounce that again. Beautiful. Okay. So again, different diamond plate, different stone. I will actually spin this around to show you that I have got the diamond plates and stones all along here. They're all lined up, ready to go. Now, let's try and get this lined up a little bit better so you can see more of it. There we go. So we can, once you get off the 1500, you're probably not going to wear through a lot of tape. So the cycles end when you need to put more water on it. Now, this is the end of actual testing on 5000. The hanging hair test. So I can pass the leg hair tests at 1500. I'm not going to bother doing hanging hair tests at 15. Because as long as I can pass at 5000, I'm happy. So what is honing? Let's talk about that. What's to do with 5000? Honing is basically, you've got your spine, you've got your edge, you've got a line here, a line there, isosceles triangle. The edge is at the tip of the triangle. And what you're doing is you're getting the bevel, which is the very tip of the triangle with the edge, as smooth as possible. So on the 400,000 and 1500, you are basically setting the bevel, honing it and making it a bit smoother. This feels lovely and smooth already. So after, I don't know how many laps I did, after about 30 seconds, it feels almost matched here. And looking at the slurry, which is a nice grey colour with lots of metal in it, I'd assume that it is. But I go a little bit longer just to make sure. And again, the pressure on the heel, pressure on the toe, just to make sure it feels the same and sounds the same all the way across. And when you start thinking about it in that way, you will feel this. This is easily felt. You can feel the difference. This is like finding a bite point on a clutch on a car. At this point, all I'm using the scope for, as you saw, is on one side, just to quickly look at it and confirm what I already know. Okay, so do a few little quick laps just to work the edge a bit more. And all we are doing after 1500 is polishing that bevel that we set. Very coarse at 400, but that leaves the actual edge quite serrated, quite jaggy. Then at 1000 we're tidying the edge up a bit and tidying the bevel up a bit. And only at 1500 are we having a nice straight edge with no serrations. That feels matched. Right. So I'm about to go for the water, to put some more water on it, just to rinse the blade off, keep a bit of the slurry. I'll show you guys what it looks like now. So that edge, there we are, you can see it's got quite a bit more gloss to it to look at. It now looks shiny and sharp. I'm actually really pleased with that. It's turned out beautiful. So you can get a better light. There we go, about there. So at this point, make sure your edge of your hand is clean on the side of your leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that is just you know, kind of stropping, it's hand stropping. So I'm just stropping the edge very slightly and cleaning it more than anything. So my wife has thick black hair. Root hanging out over. Pops it clean off. Pops it clean off. Yeah, it's maybe catching a little bit on heel, but that could be me with the angle. Yeah, it could be because I'm on camera. Whenever I try to do hanging hair test on camera, it never works. Yeah, it's worked that time. It's worked that time. Yeah, a little tiny bit of work on the heel. So, there I am, at 5k, passing the hanging hair test. Now, I have people that have bought razors from other people contacting me, and I don't like to discuss other people's work, what other people do. For the simple reason that they can twist it into whatever they want to say you're bad mouthing them or anything else. However, there is one razor maker out there who somebody didn't like their razor, didn't like the edge, and they asked me to sort it out, and I said, look mate, to be honest, I'm not going to touch that edge, because if I do, it is then my edge and not their edge, which makes me responsible for whatever's there. So I advised the person to go back to the maker and discuss it with them. And the maker gave them a load of waffle. Oh, I'm sorry about that. You know, my shop, I make so many razors and blah blah blah. My shop's starting to wear out. So I put it on a high hook. Doesn't sound like much, but because I've put it on a high hook, it's changed the angle, and it means that I've gave some fancy bollocks name for I fucked it up. However, he didn't. He didn't actually do it wrong. He said, oh, so what I've done now is I've moved it back down to a lower angle. So now I'm not making the problem I was making before. And the waffle was a lot longer than that. You know, let's put it this way: if you had a bowl of cereal and a bottle of milk, and you wanted to take the lid off the milk to pour onto your cereal, he would have held the lid and rotated the bottle. Then, to get the milk from the bottle into the cereal, he would have put a tube in there and siphoned it out. And that was basically the explanation, rather than just turning the top and pouring the milk in. And I said to the guy, well, you got to take that as his word. I think it's complete and utter bollocks. But if I were you, just keep sending it back until it feels right. So he spent 250 quid on a razor that he couldn't shave with. Yeah, it's a shame. Anyway, this is an absolutely stunning razor and it feels lovely. Now it's skating because it's stone just beautifully. You can hear a couple of times I caught it here, which is just a little bit of a shoulder on here. So yeah, I can feel it very slightly gripping just there. It's not now. So I now believe that is homed. Wow, it's 35 minutes in, guys. Get a hair. Any hair, find hair. It's always the hardest bit, it's finding the root. I've got it there. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's like a lightsaber. Yep, it's all going across now. So, take the tape off. Quick rinse. Show you guys. Pass the hand and hair test. Try and get this light right. Here you go. And to look at, I can't see any scratches with the naked eye. There we are. And that edge now, at 60x, looks completely scratch free apart from a few very fine scratches. And to be honest, I think I could probably shave with that edge. Going back to that razor maker I was just discussing, in their explanation, they said that they had problem passing hanging hair tests. That is halfway through my progression. Yeah, so it's going to be a long one, guys. Sorry. Actually, no, I'm not going to say sorry. I've had 4 people, 4 of you, ask for me to do a full progression hone, real time, live, and show you. This is now the 8K, lovely green colour. I do love this stone. Out of all of my Shaptons, I think the 8K is my favourite. The 5K does most work, I think, but I just love the colour and the feel of this. So as you saw, fresh tape. Wipe it all off. Cup of tea. Glug, glug, glug. So, the same as the rest. Dedicated diamond plate for it. Oh, and so you know, it's very easy. Oh, very easy to tell my diamond plates apart because the slurry in them matches the colour of the stones. I used a 400 size to repair the stones, and when you first buy the stone you need to lap it flat. So you draw a grid, or actually just scribble on it. You just do this until the whole thing is flat. Scribble on it again, do it again, and keep going until it all wears off at the same time. On my J-nut, that took me nearly 3 hours. Because obviously a natural stone isn't smooth. Okay, hanging hair test is passed, so that can go out of the way. What I'm doing now is matching it through feel and sound. So I can feel that that's, again, these Shaps and Pro ceramics, they might cost a little bit of money compared to something else. I think this one was 80 quid. I think you can get the 5,000 for about 40, sorry, the 1,500 I think is about £40. The 5k is about £50. This is about 80 quid for the 8. And I've got a JNAT that was £480. With a couple of Nagoras, one was 80 quid. Yeah, no, one was 6. The Mijiro that I have was, I think, 60 quid. And the Coma I have was 80 quid. I'll show those in a minute when I get to it. So that feels almost matched now. And I'm about to add water because my slurry is gone. So that's the end of that cycle. So my slurry is almost all gone off on the stone. It's quite dry. Oh no, it's okay. I thought my camera had gone funny. So I've sprayed water on there to clean it off. It takes all the slurry off the edge, on the face, and off the razor, back onto the stone. Give it a quick wipe, give it a quick look. And yeah, I can see very, very fine scratches, and the edge looks fantastic. So that's all it took on that stone, because I've done all the work already. Yeah, the turn and heel do still feel a little bit grainy. We know this razor passes, or this edge passes hanging hair test, because it did on the 5000, so I don't need to test that again. As I was saying about the previous razor maker, why was he shopping it and then testing the hanging hair test? I admit, usually I would test hanging hair test now. I would test it again when I finish on the JNAT on all 3 stages. But for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to take it that, yeah, it's passed. So why was he testing hanging hair after shopping it? Okay, let's go nice and quick now. Just use up this last little bit of slurry on here. Actually, the stone feels so nice. I'll do a bit more. So guys, when you pay me my £12.50 as it is at the moment to hone a razor, you get what I've done now with the the JNAT Nakayama with 1000 slurry. The £15 option is with the 2 Nagoras. I also have a secret stage, which I'm not going to tell you if it's before, after, in between, or wherever, because I need to keep something to myself. So I have got a secret stage as well. So you know, when you pay me your £10 or your £12.50, this is how long it takes. I've got a notification, there we go. So you've seen it's taken an extra hollow, which is the easiest grind to hone. 45 minutes. I had a bit of gibber at the start, I admit. Now 8k, if you get yourself something like a mini og, which I'll be doing next week, is a quick hone on 2 stones to show you. So check this edge out on this. That now, if I can get the light right. There we go. That now is completely shave ready. I'd be happy shaving with that edge. And look at it in daylight with the naked eye. It's nice. So just going to do 5 little laps off the hand just to clean the edge. And now the only scratches on that edge are very, very fine. Extremely fine. I'm sorry if I had to set my big gut through this video. I am the fattest I've ever been in my life. That's thanks to saying, yep, I have mental health issues. I have PTSD. Please help me. And then they put me on this medication. I've never in my life been so hungry all the time. Literally, I could eat a horse 4 times a day. Okay. So we finish with that stone. We're now move on to my baby. This is the one, guys. Saturnia Jaina, Japanese natural stone. When you get it wet, those colours and everything on it just look incredible. So at this point, I wipe my tape to make sure there's no bits on it before measuring it off, sticking it on, and away we go. Here we go. Beautiful. Yeah, so all I've done since being on this medication, like 6 weeks now to eat, I've put on 3 kilos. However, it is temporary. And the medication knocks me out completely, so I'm absolutely drained and knackered. So I haven't had the energy to go running, walking or anything. Which if you're eating an extra amount and you're not exercising less, you're going to put weight on. Okay, so exactly the same again. Heel, middle toe. Heel, middle toe. And in just a few laps, I can hear the difference. And I can feel the difference. As I always say, the more you work an edge, so the more stages you have, the more refined that edge is going to be. If you have a nice shiny car and you want to keep it shiny, you're going to polish it lots and clean it lots and use T-cut and everything else. That's exactly the same as what you're doing on the edge on this. It'll get shinier and shinier with every single stroke, every single lap, every single cycle. This edge is getting shinier. And although I said I don't test hanging hair, I do actually test hanging hair once I finish on the J-nut. So all I've done there is I've used up the slurry. The slurry has turned, again, this metallic green-grey colour. Don't know if you can see it. So I was obviously focusing on not dripping it all off. But the main thing is your fingertips and the feel. It feels beautiful. And again, that last toe on the last side is a little bit different. Okay, so a little bit more liquid, go again. So I can hear cars and children making sure it's not my wife and my child. If it is, I will be upset. So they've only been out for an hour. They've gone swimming. And it usually takes my wife half an hour to get there. So, if she's getting back, they wouldn't have been swimming. Right, that actually feels beautifully smooth. Absolutely incredible. So that is the end of honing. I will change the tape actually, because I have started to show through a tiny little bit up here. So because I felt that he'll need a little bit more work, so it didn't pass the hang hair as well as the others did. So it's taken me probably 45 minutes of honing for a very simple extra hollow. A gold dollar takes about that amount of time, which is why I think £12.50 for that hone is fantastic value for money. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy chatting to you lot whilst I'm doing it as well. Got a hair stuck in the tape. Yeah, I'll just change it. So obviously at this point I still have to strop it as well. I used to shave test all of my edges, but when I started hitting more than 5 razors a week every week, I couldn't shave test every edge. Okay, with all of my zones, between every time I use them, I rotate them. This is why I embarrass myself. I think it's that way up. Might be that way up. But this is a Mijiro, that's it, Mijiro. With Nagoras, there's the Botan, the Tenju, the Mijiro, and the Koma. Now, Botan is around 8k. I've been led to believe, a little bit more water on there. If it starts sticking, don't force it to add a bit more water. So the Botan, I've been led to know 5k for the Botan. The Tenju is about 8k. Then the Miju is about 12. And the Koma is about 18. So I am led to believe. Obviously, I didn't get that from a completely trusted source. I did get it from the internet, and I've only had it from one source, so I do not know how true that is. I did used to use my old, I had 3 of them. They usually come in 3s with the Botan, Nijiro and Miju. And then when I bought the Koma, I had 4, but I actually sold the 3 set that I had to buy a massive Mijiro, because I decided that I was just going to use diamond plate, which 1 is ensured that my stone is completely flat, and 2 got a very good slow. Then I've moved on to the Majiro and the Coma. So again, just same as every other thing, the rolling X, bit of pressure on the heel, bit of pressure on the toe, and it feels, it's in a few laps, it's done. That just feels lovely. I actually feel it's starting to stick. It's not grinding and grating like it was when I first put it onto this stone, but it's actually starting to stick a little bit, which is a lovely thing because it's so smooth. I don't know how to describe the sensation, but it's almost like rubbing your hand across freshly ironed cotton, but smoother. It's like treacle, it's like toffee. It's smooth, it feels so lovely. I hope you can hear that. So it's matched all the way across. Go for a lot of water, just to work the edge some more, give it a bit more of a polish. So you can't see it there, but at the moment my heel is on, the toe is very slightly off. Now the whole edge is on, and now the heel is off and the toe is slightly is on. So when I'm rolling on that X, it is actually lifting the opposite end off very slightly. It feels beautiful. And for a few quick laps just to get a bit more in there, and that will do. So as you've seen, I've done that solely by feel, and it feels right. And when you've done it a few times, you'll easily feel the difference between right and wrong. That looks absolutely glorious, that edge. See if I can get you to see it on here. I think I've got issues with cloud and my camera getting light. There you go. Wow. So it's still another stage. And again, after I've rinsed the stone off, I'm rotating it. Then getting the Coma, which is very fine, very white, and very pure. Pure white and fine. So as you can see, if you're going to have the full Ngora finish, it's going to take me an hour at least. I do use the honing money now, goes into, so all my, because I separate my money off from where it comes from. So honing money now goes into the account that we use to buy our food. So when I say that honing feeds my family, it actually does feed my family. 2 adults, 1 child. You know, food for a week, anywhere between what, £70 and £210 a week. And anybody with that kind of size family will know that, yeah, it can be. Obviously £210 a week, and then the following week's going to be a 70 quid a week type thing. At the moment, I'm honing at least 10 a week. I usually hone around 15, but that includes JJ shorties that I've just made. And I also hone one of my own razors a week. This week it's this one. Now, I have honed more than 40 razors in a week before. So thank you guys for providing me with this. If you stop using me for honing, I might end up losing weight. So again, done that through film, done that through ear. And the whole lot feels absolutely beautiful. So just because this feels nice, I probably don't need to do this, but this feels lovely. And again, I am working the edge some more, so it is getting more stone time. When people say about adding your stones into your progression to save time, it doesn't matter if you've got 2 stones or 10 stones, it's going to probably take you realistically 45 minutes to an hour. What I do find is if I was to say put a 3k stone in there, obviously 400, 1000, 1500 would be exactly the same. Everything after that gets shorter, which means I'll be spending even less time on this expensive stone. So that's why I put more stones into it. Plus, as I said, the higher the number of stages, the more you've worked the edge, the more refined it will be. So I'm like very, very light. I'm literally just pushing it along. And it's sliding across as if it's trying to skate off the end actually. I'm having to hold it back a bit. So guys, I believe that is done. But this video is not over. Hopefully it's about 2/3 of the way through. Okay. Hand strop again just to dry it and clean it. Didn't count that, but that'll do. And that looks fucking fantastic. Wow. Yeah, that's good, that'll do me. Just because I'm cautious, I've now been on here for an hour and 5 minutes. I did say I would just check it. My hang hair test. Move to the other end. There we go. No, can't find a root on that one, so I'll get another one. Now, I've quite good fun with this. I say to my wife it's a pain because I keep finding greys, and greys aren't very good. Right, roots. Got that in there. Can you see that root there? Here we go. Beautiful. Just taking it clean off. Yeah, I don't even feel that touching. Done. Beautiful. Right. Finish my tea. Okay, might get a little bit shaky a second, guys. There we go. Yeah, I had it plugged into the power there, which why it fell over. Okay. I was going to walk into a room you'll all know. Yes, look at this. Beautiful. So, I've condensed the shopping a bit just for this video. There's hemp. hot water as taste takes a while to come through the tap, so I've got hot water running as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What that's really done is cleaned everything off the edge and scuffed it up a little bit. There we are. So I'm now going to put the hot water in the sink ready for the shave. Boar brush has gone in as well. I'm going to use Swedish Witch Fresh Citrus. So I've put some water in there just to let it bloom a little bit. Take the t-shirt off ready for the shave. Then I'm going to go Latigo. Before that, it's the denim. Now, I used to go, notification, somebody's walked past my front door. Somebody else walked past my front door. So I used to go denim, then hemp, but this is a much finer denim. And the denim I used to use was an old pair of jeans that I'd washed like 4 times and cut the seams off the legs, so that gave me 4 strops then. I kind of made it myself just to clean the edge of it. Now usually I'd use a Butter grade and then horse, but I'm just going to go straight for Latigo. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fast forward. 29. Fast forward again. 30. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14, 1, 2, 50. Fast forward again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 75. So 100. Usually I would do 100 on Butter and 100 on leather, on horse. Close the window. So that is now a completely clean and shiny edge. So because I've used stones and strops and everything else, before I've done all of that, it's sterilised. When every razor comes into my house, I sterilise it straight away. But then because I'm using the stones for myself, for you, for everybody, I like to sterilise after that stage as well. So I was using a quick clipper side on that because I know it's all sterile, but better to be a little bit safe than sorry. I know I should leave that for 15 minutes for it to work properly, but I think, you know, hour and 10 minutes, guys, you know. I don't even watch movies that are this long. And hopefully in here you'll see a beautiful, beautiful edge. So, on to the shave. Swedish Witch, the citrus one. Thanks Strongholm for that. And I'm using a sample from Agent Shave. Will that focus? Has it focused? I don't know, hope that will. But it's RazoRock, it's a tuner aftershave. Probably pronounced it wrong because my speech isn't the best. So I like to do that, just that's how you don't get excess water on the wash at the start of a shave. I was going to use a different brush. I was going to use a synthetic one for a change. But I didn't want to bowl lather. I didn't know which soap to use. I've gone through a couple because I had the aftershave and I was working backwards. I decided that I'd just use this. It's a nice fresh scent, and it was also because we are in November and the weather has been atrocious. We are getting glimpses of sunshine. Okay, I admit, going straight from the honing stone to the sink isn't always the best idea. You know, my face, my hands have probably got stuff in them, plus I've put the clipper side on there. So the shave may have a couple of aspects from that. Which is why I thought I'd do a face lather. And that soap is glorious. That scent is so delicate. It feels really fresh on my face as well. It's a very slight menthol type tingle to it. There we are. Right. Brand new razor, well, to me anyway, that I've never used before, never stropped, never honed, and now it's honed, stropped and ready for a shave. I have the red flannel ready. Let's see how this is going, guys. Let's see. That is how a Bengall should feel. I didn't even feel it come off, honest to God. Wow. Yeah, that's nice. Wow. Okay, I admit my hair ain't the thickest and coarsest of beards. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do half here. Yeah, I'll leave that, I'll rinse and let you see the difference. Oh God, that edge is glorious. That very much, you can actually be able to tell the difference. I can tell the difference. But yeah, that is, for the first little bit of a pass, that's lovely. So shaving, a bit like the honing, a bit like polishing the car. The more you work, the more you refine it. So you get closer and closer with each pass, with each direction, with each pickup. So the first pass is always just to knock most of it down. Which is what we're doing here. Beautiful, really. Lovely. Absolutely glorious, guys. And yeah, we know I look Picasso-like because we did the other bit before. Let's see if I can get this done under 2 hours, under 90 minutes. Under 1 hour and a half. So guys, to wrap it all up, I have done all of the honing using my new hone, new edge even, to my edge, down my new edge with the new Boar finish. It isn't my new secret edge, but it is my new edge, I think. New, anyway, whatever. So anybody getting an edge from me will have this edge with the secret stage as well. As you know, more stages, more refined, better to shave. Now that's on the second pass, it's still picking stuff up, which is lovely. Anybody on the JJ Shaves Facebook forum, Bob Elliott has an incredibly thick beard. I honed him in extra hollow using this setup and he loved it. The extra hollow I sent him, it's a Sheffield one, slightly older than this, and the spine is literally 3 times the thickness of that. It's a really thick spine, it's a really heavy razor. It shaves like a quarter hollow. It's actually a half hollow, I think. On today's standards, it's a half hollow. Usually when he shaves, he uses 2 razors or shops between passes. with that razor, you got a shave and a half. Which is unheard of. Yeah, that's beautiful. I've got a couple of little red marks. I felt it go in here, that was me, and there. I think it's nicked something there, but that's nothing. The edge is lovely. To be honest, the first shave is never the best one. Straight after the sewings, you want to have 3 to 5 shaves before that edge is softened enough. But that feels beautiful. There we are. So, onto the cold water. Rinse the brush out. Put it up there to dry. So all of them there, rinse the lather off the red flannel, wring it out so it's maybe dampish to touch. And then with the clean side, wipe the blade, lay it back down, throw the flip side on. White flannel, cold water, aftershave, which is Saturnia, I don't know. Looks almost like satin with a tuna on it, but I don't know if it's like a Satsuma type thing. Oh, I was meant to mention this at the beginning of the video. Sorry that I have not picked up comments on my videos. I used to get notifications. I haven't had notifications for a couple of months and thought that nobody was actually watching my videos. But I've seen that I've been having like 70, 100 views, which is good. I've had like 5 or 10 comments, I haven't seen any of them. So I'm sorry if you have commented and I've not liked it or loved it or replied to it. But I haven't picked it up until I start checking them now. I just had a phone call in from Bobby G, Robert Gallagher. So I had to cancel it because I've got literally 2 minutes left. That's Boot. If you like Boot and you like that style of scent, that's what it's reminding me of. It's lovely actually. It's like a citrusy, more modern version, but the body, the backbone, the aftershave is like Boot. It smells a lot nicer, but it's that kind of yeah, it's a really nice scent. Anyway, on to the razor, the Bengall, the star of the show. There you are, guys. Feature length movie, JJ and the Bengall. Thanks for being here. If you're still here, if you left halfway through, if you I don't know, went off and did something important and came back, and beautiful. Thanks a lot for your support, and I hope that helps the 4 or 5 people that have asked for it. The others that watch it, suckers. Anyway, see you later.